Ricky and Gina's love story absolutely started in season 1. In fact, it really could have just ended there. We could have gone into season 2 and pretended there was absolutely nothing romantic going on with Ricky and Gina, and a lot of you guys would have bought it. They continued that for a reason. They filmed that scene of Gina looking up at EJ right after he got her the airplane ticket, foreshadowing Portwell to happen, right around the same time that they filmed the scene where Gina said she never gets anything right the first time. What I think we really need to stop doing is viewing the first couple seasons of this show as the Rini show and start viewing it as a show about Ricky as an individual and also a show about Nini as an individual. Ricky's story from the very beginning has been about him learning to accept and embrace change. Nini's story from the very beginning is about her learning to find independence and stop seeing herself through Ricky's eyes. Absolutely needed to get back together at the end of season 1 because it is through their relationships with each other that they are learning these lessons, and they're learning lessons they couldn't learn in any other way. Ricky needed to learn how to be emotionally vulnerable and say I love you. That's what season 1 was about. It wasn't about Ricky and Nini are going to be together forever. But ultimately, Ricky never loved Nini for the right reasons. He loved her for the stability she represented in his ever-changing life. And Nini, Nini and Ricky have been best friends since childhood, and this show has told us that the only times she has ever had physical separation from Ricky are times where she has felt her truest self, her best self. First, pre-season 1 when she went away to camp.
Then she went away. She found herself.
Next in season 2 when she was at boarding school states away from him.
I liked who I was there.
The reason why I don't ship Ricky and Nini is because I love Ricky as an individual and because I love Nini as an individual. Ricky and Nini only worked pre-season 1 because Nini confined herself, viewed herself through his eyes, and became the kind of girl that she knew he wanted her to be. But the minute she realized that she didn't want to do that anymore in season 2, they fell apart. They stopped working. If Olivia had never left the show, I am confident that Nini would have had some wonderful storyline where she was being her truest, best, thrivingest self apart from Ricky. I want that for her because this was never the Rini show. And it's a disservice to keep tying her character to Ricky because look how sad she is when people do that.
Now I had a new name, a fresh start. And I had to be. Always been Amy and Ricky.
This show has really enjoyed telling a beautiful story about how first loves aren't always forever loves. There were no loose ends in that treehouse, okay? Ricky and Nini were over and we should be happy and proud of them for being over. As the writers might not have known ultimately who Ricky would end up with when they were writing the first episode, but it wasn't going to be Nini. Isn't it perfect how when writing a story about a boy who needs to learn how to accept change, a girl who's only ever known change asks him for a ride home from homecoming? She may have started off scary, but it was a mask, and he brought out the true her in a way he never could with Nini.